Welcome back. It's international break. There's no football to talk about this week, but we've got an interesting discussion to be had because who gets a new contract at Bristol City? Sam and Liam are going to go through all the players reportedly out of contract in the summer and decide their fate. Before we get to that, though, we're looking ahead to the weekend game. Sam, Liam, it's an interesting time in the season now. Are you excited or nervous? What's your thoughts, Sam?
A bit of both, I think, to be fair. Definitely a bit of both. I mean, going up to Burnley, it's a difficult game, but I've got a bit of optimism out there.
Liam, do you reckon you could do Burnley?
I think I'd love to see a smash and grab, as they say. It'll be tough, but it is doable. Okay. So yeah, I'm going 1-0 win 88th minute.
We are definitely due a Scott Twine free kick at Turf Moor, aren't we? It's absolutely written. Come on, Scott. Right, let's have a look. Now, according to TransferMarket.com, there are a number of players out of contract in the summer. Before we get to that, let's talk about George Earthy, because obviously he is one which, come the end of the season, should be returning to West Ham. His value, according to TransferMarket.com, is 1.4 million. Sam, for that price, is he worth a punt or not?
Yeah, it'd be lovely to get him for that price, but I think that's a bit unrealistic in today's market, isn't it? But, I mean, as good as George Earthy's been for us this season, we've got Josh Stokes coming back, who's been doing absolutely brilliant things at Cambridge, and some of their fans are bigging him up to go to the big time. So it'd be nice to have him come back and play some first-team football with us.
Okay. Liam, do you agree?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Although it would be nice to see Earth come in, I don't think there'd be a position for him, or if he was to come in, hypothetically, I think it would block that pathway for Stokes to put his mark on the squad. It was interesting to see about Earthy, though. It was interesting to hear when they had the whole communications about not signing one in January. It was also mentioned by Tinian that Earthy was signed because we didn't think we were getting Scott Twine. Now, I think had we got Twine earlier, I don't think we'd have seen Earthy at the club. So that was quite an interesting take on things. And to me, that does say we're not going to look to bringing him in permanently.
Let's have a look, shall we, then, at the rest of the players. We'll go through them one by one now. Again, some of these might have already been given a new contract, which has not been updated on here. So just shout that out, Sam or Liam, if you know any more information. Let's start with
Sykes has got a new deal already, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he had a year's option, and they activated it. Yeah, so he's got another year on it.
Okay. Sam Bell is out of contract in the summer, and much maligned Sam Bell in the recent weeks. Liam, thoughts?
I'd keep him. I think his criticism's a bit unjust at times, being played completely out of position. I think he's a useful squad player. You have to have squad players. I think, if it was me, I'd be looking to extend that one.
We'll go to goalkeepers in a minute. So Nahki Wells, please, Sam, for you.
Yeah, I think the club owe it to him to let him finish his career here. I mean, this season he's been banging in the goals. He seems to be like a fine wine. He's getting better with age with us.
Okay. 35, though?
Yeah, he's got to be having another 1-year contract.
Okay. What about Benarous, Liam?
Benarous.
Benarous.
See, for me, that one, if he'd been fit and available to play, I think the club would have already done it. There was so much hype when he came through from the academy to play for us. He's just been really unfortunate. He did his ACL. He was doing his rehab. Then he did the same ACL again, just doing some sprints and stuff in his rehab. I think that would be a case of if he can prove his fitness over the summer. I don't think, as much as emotionally I'd like to see him stay, because like I said, there was all that hype with him. I just don't think the club are going to take that risk and having another player. He hasn't played for nearly 3 years. So I think it's 3 years. I could be wrong on that, but I think it is about 2.5, 3 years he hasn't played for.
Yeah, it's definitely that time scale.
Yeah.
I'm gutted for the lad because he was, like as you said, he was so hyped coming through. He was supposed to be the better player than Alex Scott. And look at what Scott's gone on to achieve.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. There was a lot more. Oh, wait until you see Benarous come through. There was a lot of that coming from the club, and yeah, it'd be sad to see. It'd be awful for him, but I can understand if the club don't invest in it again. But like I said, I think it'll be a case of coming for pre-season and prove your fitness.
And finally, then Sam, the goalkeepers here, Thomas and Bajic.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas, I think they will keep on just as a third choice keeper, but I think we'll probably see the end of Bajic in our side. I mean, he's never really been given an opportunity, but when he has, he's faltered to deceive, really.
Okay. You agree, Liam?
Yes and no. We haven't seen enough of him. I think he's played 2 games. So for me, it's not enough to judge him on. It's all well and good you see him every day in training, but training and there's not as much pressure at training as there is in a game scenario. But yeah, I can't see him staying. At the age he is, 21, 22, I don't think he'd want to be sat on the bench. Goalkeeper's an awkward position because you're playing for one place. And yeah, I can't see him being here next season, unfortunately for him.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments whether you agree. No money spent in January, so the summer then, Sam, we'll come on to it in the next couple of weeks, but it's going to be an interesting one for Bristol City, isn't it? Especially if you do just miss out on the playoffs. People are going to be expecting you to push on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, we've been crying out for a goal-scoring striker for a long, long time. But where do you get one for the prices what we're willing to pay, really?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, both of you. All well done. Next week, of course, we'll be reviewing the Burnley game, and there's now 8 weeks left till the end of the season. So join us right the way through to May as we plot and chart and chat about how Bristol City are progressing, as we have done since the very start of that whole game away at the MKM, which feels so long ago. Thank you very much for joining us. Do drop us a subscribe and a like if you haven't yet done so already. And we'll see you, hopefully, on the other side of the visit to Turf Moor. Enjoy your trip to Lancashire, Sam.
Yeah, I will do. It's a long old way, but hopefully it'll be worth it for us.
See you next week, everyone.
See you later.